Hi guys, how are you doing? I haven't been in front of the camera for quite a while now. Anyway, just to let you all know that the following video is going to be a continuation of the previous blog that I was doing, the one on disability part 1, right? It's an unofficial part 2 lah. Then also further plans for the channel as well. So on to the video. Hi there, how are you doing? So in last week's short video, I said that I was going to talk about alternate universes, and yeah, so here we are. Yeah, so the week before I spoke about how I went through school, and also how was it to survive through school with a disability. Honestly, to most people it's probably like it's a sob story, but I assure you that everything that I shared was true lah. Yeah, so then I just happened to be in discussion with somebody, and that person happened to mention, in an alternate universe, Ivan would be this, Ivan would be that, and then that gave me an idea about what I should be talking about today. Yeah, so in 2012, also the same year that I took my O-levels, I received a call on my birthday from my then soccer coach, from the Singapore Disability Sports Council. He told me that they were setting up a football team, for the national team lah. If you were to go and Google it now, we call the CP Lions. Yeah, back then I was one of the first few of the team, even though officially I have retired now lah, if you put it that way. Yeah, so the thing is, the interesting thing now is, right, see this? Wait, oh no, hold on. Yeah, this and this, the name is faded out. So yeah, this was the jersey from 2012, where I was called up to represent the first batch lah. We were the first batch to represent Singapore as the Cerebral Palsy national football team. Sorry, something was yeah. So it got me thinking, because right after I represented the country, we went to the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and then right after that I went to study. So yeah, so change, I guess you could think of it that way. It's like suddenly from football I go back to studies, then from there on in 2013, then I just went study all the way. But because for me, right, at that time I had 3 things to choose from. I had church, right, because I went to church on Saturdays, some Sundays, and then if I were to continue with my football, it would mean that I would go to football training in place of church service. So church was one, and then studies was the other. Could I balance my studies and football? I felt that I couldn't lah. So church, studies, or football, or 2 of the 3, right? So in the end, I chose studies, and church. Yeah. Yeah, and receiving that call up, it was actually one of the, how to say, the happiest moments of my life, because this, just for some context, right? Singapore Disability Sports Council formed a football team in 2009, and I was also involved then. But then, so I left the team for a while, a few years, right? Then after that, I got called back. So yeah. So the thing is, when I started playing football with the CP team, as they are known now, right? Then my dream was to represent Singapore. I think everybody, okay, I won't say everybody lah, but it's a dream lah, because not everybody gets, to represent your country. So yeah, that's one thing ticked off my bucket list. Being able to represent my country. We went to the UAE for 10 days, of which 8 of those days were game days lah, match days. So it's like, it just seems so unreal lah at that time. It's like, on my birthday in 2012, and I also forgot to mention that actually this, right, was I had turned my coach down initially when he brought it up a few weeks before the call up. Yeah, he was like, we might be planning to go to the UAE to for international tournament. Then I was like, but I had to study, I have an exam coming up. Then after that, later on my birthday, I received a phone call. It was actually in the middle of class. Yeah, then he was like, Ivan, I signed you up, so you better come down for training. Then I'm like, okay. Yeah, and then that turned out to be that moment in time in 2012, between, I think, May, that was mid 2012. That time I was still studying in MDIS. So basically I just took the 2 weeks off lah. Yeah, I went for trainings, and then we flew over to the UAE, United Arab Emirates, for 10 days, and then came back. In fact, there's an earlier video from about 8 years back now, right? Yeah, I will look at the eye above, right? Yeah, get the eye above there. Yeah. Then, so actually, while I was planning this video, then I was also like looking down the list of my YouTube videos, right? Then I was like, there's still that video there, right, from 8 years ago. Yeah, so that sort of like reminded me. So yeah, everything that you go through is a phase of your life. Yeah, and representing Singapore and internationally as a cerebral palsy footballer was also a phase of my life. But then, like I mentioned in last week's short video, right, there's always a lot of ifs lah. What if I had chosen not to study and instead go into football? Chose football training instead. Okay, church was no negotiation. Definitely at that time I couldn't give up that. So it was either in studies and football, right? And yeah. So yeah. So just I know. I mean this video was also to like short follow up on part 1 of the previous video 2 weeks ago, to say that living with a disability, sometimes you do have your good moments lah, and playing football as a footballer with cerebral palsy is something, whether you are it's just it's just something that I would be proud of lah. Yeah, so you know, maybe there are things that I would question, you know, in my life. Is there anything that I would look back and say that I'm proud of myself for doing that? And I guess being part of the CP Lions, the initial batch of CP Lions is probably one of those things lah. Yeah. Yeah. So who knows, you know? But honestly lah, right? After I left football to go into studies, then I sort of like I guess the interest wasn't there anymore, so I sort of just moved on lah. Then of course, you know, I went get my degree, and yeah, and instead of wearing the national jersey now, yeah, so yeah, I'm part of the company that social enterprise cafe, Forward Coffee. So I mean, different phases of life bring you to different places also, right? Different place, different phase, different place. Yeah. So different phases, different place. You don't want to move into a different phase of your life. Then after that, right, you how to say, like, you don't want to move into a different phase of your life but still remain at the same place. Then that wouldn't be good lah. Yeah. So yeah. So this was just something I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Going forward, I'm not sure if I will upload regularly or not. Yeah, because right now I'm looking for work, yeah, to supplement my income. So the Friday uploads might I will still upload on Fridays, but whether it will be a weekly Friday, you know, or maybe alternate Fridays, that one I might reconsider lah. Yeah, because got to find things to do. I'm also thinking of taking up a course on writing. Yeah, sort of like a diploma on writing as well. So the time spent on that diploma course might, you know, will be taking a lot of my time out. So I might not be able to upload as often as I want to. Although I will still try to keep by the Friday schedule lah. Yeah. So yeah. So hope you all are doing well. And yeah, I catch you again soon. Bye.